Greetings, Jeffrey Baffle here, HumbleBumble Chess Services. Been a while since I did a video. I'm back at it now. Today's video is explaining my method of choosing a good move at the board. So in other words, I'm sitting at a board across from my opponent. Casual game, tournament game, doesn't matter, but this is an in real life situation where I want to pick a good move. Now, I need to drop back a little bit here and talk a little bit about what does chess represent to me and what am I trying to do with my chess game. Well, chess represents to me an art, and I want to make a beautiful object of art. So the main thing that pleases me is to play a good game. Now, the result of the game is very important, but only in terms of it that it helps you to perfect your game. So in other words, there might be an expression, you win or you learn. So winning doesn't necessarily mean that you played well. You can play a crappy game and still win. You can play a beautiful game, a complex and deep game, and still lose. So the thing that is to me prime or of primacy, if you will, is the process, is following your process. Okay, so the main process is to select a good move. If you do that correctly enough times, the result takes care of itself. You don't have to worry about the result. So you make a good move and then you're going to win or draw the game. If you lose the game, that means that some of your moves were faulty. So you take those, you break them down, you find out what process you did not follow correctly or sufficiently, and you fix it. So basically, this is my... I'll let you zoom in on that there, what I'm talking about. So the idea of a process-focused method is kind of, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it's kind of unusual. So in other words, there's more of a result-focused approach to teaching chess. In other words, do this and you'll get a good result. Do this and you'll win or at least draw the game. Whereas if you focus on that, you still have to do the processes that get you to that point. So I say focus on the process first and forget about the results. Of course the results are important, and of course you want to win or draw the game. But in order to do that, you've got to execute your process well. So now, in terms of chess, being successful at chess, I think you can only be successful in terms of reaching your maximum potential. You can't arbitrarily set a goal and say, I'm going to be a grandmaster, because that's the secondary goal. Only when you have reached your full potential and you're playing your best can you do things like become a master, become an expert, a grandmaster, international, whatever. So yeah, so master the process first and forget about the result. The result will take care of itself. So the main process, and with processes, you start with a big one and you break it down into little processes. So the main process is checkmate. And that is knowing how to checkmate the king. You need to know what the definition of a checkmate is and how to do it. You want to start with simple or easy checkmates and go to more complex ones. Once you've mastered checkmate, then it becomes a matter of, I have a direct attack that leads to mate. In other words, I can go at the king right now and checkmate them, or I need to beat them up a little bit more, gain a better position or gain more material. And you can't see checkmates, as a human being, you cannot see checkmates to infinity. So in other words, a computer can tell you there's checkmate in 28 moves, but you as a human being can see it out to maybe 2 moves, 3 moves. The further out it is, the harder it is. So don't insist on perfection. As long as you're going to get to mate, that's the important thing. So if there's a precise mating attack that requires, I should say, a mating attack that requires precise moves, that's one thing. But if it's an attack where you can just basically engage in a war of attrition, and if you had to, worst comes to worst, you could whittle that person down until they only have their king left and you mate them with a queen and rooks or whatever. So there's a lot of different areas in there about checkmate. There's not just one type of checkmate, but that's the first thing that you need to master. Depending on what skill level you're at, you want to start with what they call the basic mates. A queen and a king versus a king, a queen and a king and two rooks versus a king, etc., etc., etc. So master checkmates to your best ability, and then the next process is, how do you get to a mating situation? Well, it's just like in boxing or combat sports. You don't knock a person out unless you're in a good position. So there's positions, and then there's the knockout blow. So in other words, most of the time you're going to have to build up to that, but you have to be mindful that your opponent can make an error, which can just hand you a checkmating situation. Sometimes that's shocking. Sometimes you're used to your opponents playing very well, and if they make a bad move, it's almost like you're suspicious, like they're trying to trick you. But so you have to be alert that you can be handed a mate, and it could be a mate in one move. So just like in boxing, if you got out of position, you dropped your guard, boom, one punch and it's mate or knockout. So watch for that. But more likely is that you're going to have to build up to the checkmate. So there are many different processes involved in that. And that kind of drops us back to, how do you get a good position? So we know checkmate comes from a good position where you have a strong advantage. How do you get those strong advantage positions? Well, that is a whole huge subject in itself, comprised of many different processes. But at least we've established the basic one is learn how to checkmate. And learn it from easy to complex. And then we can back up and say, how do you get to a strong advantage where you're going to be able to launch that checkmate? So that's it for today's video. My name is Jeffrey Baffo. I represent HumbleBumble Chess Services. We're on YouTube with about 30 plus videos. I'm making more chess videos all the time. Check them out. I appreciate if you like, share, and comment about them. And your comments are incredibly valuable. Don't think that I've already thought about it or it's a dumb comment. Please give me your comments, good, bad, or indifferent. I want to hear from you guys. So thanks a lot again for tuning in. Have a great day.